Hi viewers, my name is Gonzalez. Some of you may know me from my last hit video installing Ubuntu on a virtual machine. And this is not my first rodeo. I've done videos for Dr. Pons before, but today in particular we're going to be talking about using ProDiscover to perform a raw format acquisition. Before I start, I just want to excuse myself for having horrible lighting. My room has changed over the past year, and this is what I got to work with. So here we go. First, I want to show you the objective of this video, what we're aiming for, and that happens to be plenty of files. As you can see, this acquisition is gonna take a hard drive, take a suspect drive, and because it's supposed to be a larger drive compared to a flash drive, which is pretty small, it's going to be split into different files so that you can be able to burn them on DVDs later on. It's much more convenient than having a huge file to transfer. Now that I've kind of shown you guys, the files that we're going to be looking for and accomplishing, I wanna look at me stuttering. I just pretty much wanna outline the video and tell you guys what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to structure this video in a way that I answer three main questions, and that is what is an acquisition, what is raw format, and what is ProDiscover, and how to use it. So our first question was, what is an acquisition? And to put it simply, in the context of digital forensics, it's when an investigator retrieves electronic evidence, electronic information from a suspect drive. And by a suspect drive, I mean a drive, a hard drive, a flash drive, any type of electronic storage device that has information a criminal might be using. This data has to be uncorrupted. It has to be taken from the suspect drive to the other person's drive and done so in a manner that can hold up in court. That is the exact replica of the drive used by the criminal. One more thing, I just want to take a second to apologize, guys. I know the screen is blank at the moment, and I feel like it would help you guys to more or less see what it is I'm talking about. So I wrote up a little text document on what it is I'm going to be covering, just so I don't mumble as much or change my tone of voice, just so you guys can see it on the screen in case it's a little hazy. Let's say that word. And pretty much I explained what an acquisition is, and there are a couple methods. There are static acquisitions and live acquisitions. These are the differences. For a live acquisition, when a drive is encrypted but a computer is powered and logged into, that means you arrive at a crime scene, you being an investigator, and you see a computer that you can't risk disconnecting and moving anywhere. So that is what you have to do. You have to do it on site, and that is when your forensics toolkit comes into play. Next is a static acquisition, which is when this device, this drive, can actually be transported back to the lab, back to the workstation, and that is where the static acquisition comes into play. When it comes to copying the actual data, it's very important to consider the size of the files and the size of the disk that you're working with. The data copy method can be separated into logical versus sparse. When it comes to logical, it means that you as an investigator are only looking for specific types of files, and those specific types of files are the only ones that are going to show up in the results, thus saving you time. A sparse acquisition is sort of similar to the logical captures, except for the fact that you can also look through deleted files. And as you will see, the raw format, the bitstream data type of acquisition, the raw format that I'm going to discuss in a minute, is one of its disadvantages is the fact that it takes the whole hard drive disk into consideration, making it much more time consuming as opposed to a copy method mentioned such as logical and sparse. When it comes to raw format, I'm talking about a format that is very basic. It's a simple set of sequential files that is that is an exact copy of a suspect driver dataset. It's a very practical way of preserving digital evidence, and it takes into consideration the whole hard drive that you're trying to copy. So bit by bit, everything is saved, and you can use it to analyze. Okay, so I'm going to move down the text document and show you guys the advantages and disadvantages of selecting this acquisition format. So, some things to consider. The advantages of a raw format are the fact that it has fast data transfers, considering the amount of evidence you're actually copying, and the capability to ignore minor data read errors on the source drive. This means that the information you receive is not as prone to errors as something more focused, something like the other acquisition methods that we mentioned before. And it's also universal acquisition format for most tools, meaning a lot of the tools that digital forensics investigators use supports the raw format. It doesn't take a specific tool to use it. It's used universally, which is a big benefit when you don't have the resources to say buy a specific tool for a specific acquisition format. Now the disadvantages are these. It requires as much storage space as the original disk, so there's no option for compression, which might be a little bit more useful for somebody with, again, not enough resources to have large disk spaces. So Roman numeral 2. Some format tools might not collect the bad sectors on the source drive, and this means that information you might need for digital evidence that is placed in bad sectors might be completely skipped and ruins the chance of incriminating somebody or freeing them from guilt. Now that I've covered more or less the first two questions, I'm going to tackle what exactly ProDiscover Basic is. We're going to start working with this program and actually showing you the acquisition method. Now, ProDiscover Basic is a software tool to perform acquisitions. It's the free version, so it's used more for testing purposes as opposed to real applications. But for the purpose of this video, you get to see everything the way it would be handled in a real life case. So pretty much the first step is to open up the program, and here you have the ProDiscover Basic icon, and it's very important that you run as administrator. So we have all the permissions to access whatever drive you're trying to copy and whatever image you're trying to produce. So here you just right click and it's run as administrator, and of course accept the user account control, and this is what you would see when you start it up. Let me see if I can more or less minimize the window so you can see it on screen completely. Give me a second here. Okay. And this is the interface you would be working with. With the interface open, we can start doing the exercise and performing this acquisition on a drive on your computer. Now, it's important to know that because we're using my computer and we're not using an actual suspect drive, that the main difference would be the write block method that you would be using. Now, there's different ways of doing this. You can access your registry and edit it to the point where you don't allow your computer to write to the connected hard drive. Now, another way of doing this is to physically have a device that you connect to the hard drive and it prevents it from being accessed by your computer. That's an important step to consider that I wouldn't be able to show you. That's a different video altogether. Now that I have that out of the way, we can start the actual process. And first things first, you go to Action and Capture Image. And you could also just, click the Capture Image button just to be safe. I'm showing you every step. This is the dialog box you would see, and the source drive that you want to be copying is going to be something relatively small. I've done the physical drive one before, and I realized it's taken way too long, 5 minutes. I'm not gonna sit here while you guys wait 5 minutes. So I'm gonna be doing the smaller physical memory that I have on here, which is this one right here. So I click here, you go to destination where it is you want to save your file. Now, let's see here. So I'm gonna want to just simply save it under documents. And for documents, I'm just gonna put raw video file. Alright, save. And these are the different formats available. There's ProDiscover format and the Unix.dd format. The Unix.dd format is the raw format itself. We want something that's basic, something that can be read by all other tools, not just ProDiscover. And you click there, and it's important to split it because it's a large amount of data to be transferred over and copied. You're gonna have to eventually want to save this as DVDs. So you're gonna need to split this information into a size that you can copy. And here we're gonna change this value. And here we're gonna change this value to 650. And then you hit split. And as you can see, all the different sectors and sizes are seen here. So there's 16 different images that you would see when you're done. You click OK. OK once more. And then you click proceed. So, unable to open physical memory. You know what? This is an error you might encounter, so I'm just gonna work through it with you guys. You go to capture image real quick, and I think it's because I clicked the wrong source drive. Let's do the 22 gig one. Destination. This one, let me do raw video to save. Again, this format here. You go split 650. Okay, proceed. And as you can see, the process is actually starting now. And over here at the bottom, you see the status, the progress of this whole thing. And just to save you this 4 minutes waiting time, which is what I did before, I'm just gonna pause the video and let it finish so I can show you the results. So when it's done, guys, you'll see a little dialog box that tells you the results are finished, and you can check the log and check your files to see and confirm the results. Unfortunately, I clicked OK before recording, but the dialog box does show. I just clicked OK and canceled it out. But here are the results right here. Oops. They're the raw video to MD5 files, which is the hash file that you can use to compare later, and then the raw video to DD file, which is the capture and the copy itself. And as you can see, it's pretty large. Just one bit of clarification. The files I showed you before that were the different splits. The reason they showed up like as numerous as they were was because I did not finish that copy. And when you do finish the copy, all those splits merge into one file here. Alright, so to conclude, guys, pretty much I went over what an acquisition was, what raw format was, and I took you step by step through a raw acquisition using ProDiscover Basic, a software tool that's open to anybody that they can download online. I hope you learned something from this video, and until next time.